In the Great Canyon of the Himalayas, Chen Dezhong finally finds what he's looking for. Some of the only 6,000 wild Tibet peony plants thought to exist in the world. This group is a new discovery, but the Tibetan peony is highly sensitive to environmental conditions and rarely transplanted successfully. Chen Dezhong must carry out his hybridization on site. However, his arrival is a few days too early for pollination. The pollen of the Tibet peony won't mature for another week. Compared to what they will have to go through later, this wait seems like nothing. If luck is on the grower's side, a hybrid produces seeds in the first year. After that, the life cycle of the peony is one of endless hope and expectation. After 8 years of blooming and withering away, a stable new variety will be established. This process begins with the pollen of the purple spot being dusted on to the Tibet peonies.
Because 我们中国是牡丹的起源中心，所以它的这个资源是非常丰富的。我们现在就利用我们中国这个丰富的牡丹的这个资源，再加上我们大家的这个努力，使中国人、这个世界人民都能看到好的花。
1,700 kilometers from Ne Ying Chi are the Funu Mountains. Their slopes are covered in dense forests. The region is wild and primitive. They are an extension of the Qinling Range that stretch for 400 kilometers. The local people refer to them as the lungs of the Central Plains. Even the birds sing its praises. Every year, beekeepers bring their charges into the mountains in search of flowers. Bees are Cupid's angels for the breeding of plants. However, sometimes precautions need to be taken. Nature's fertility is random and chaotic. Nature could provide a fatal disturbance to manage cultivation. The researchers respect the laws of nature, but hope to maintain a scientific oversight at every step. This is the world's largest wild peony breeding ground. Since the 1990s, growers have worked hard in the mountains and carried out numerous tests and research. Finally, a miracle is growing from this soil. All 9 varieties of wild peony are grown here. In 2001, after scouring the regions from the upper reaches of the Yellow River to the Yangtze Basin, with an elevation difference of 2,000 meters, the 9 varieties were brought here and planted in the Funu Mountains by Chinese peony researchers. After 5 years of effort, the breeding center is well established and the possibilities to create new varieties of peony unlimited. A tempting fragrance leads a small beetle to a delicious meal. The hungry diner is blissfully unaware that it's rollicking around in the Tibet peony's very stuff of life, and that it's leading others to an unexpected discovery. President of the Chinese Peony Association, Wang Lianying, pays close attention when the Tibet peony starts to bloom.
看见没有？这花湿的基部，看见没有？王老师，哎，你快来看看这怎么了？这还有虫子在这爬。哎呦，快来看，好大一只呀！什么呀？看见了？哎，这，天哪，都流到这儿来了。花湿基部是吗？不是流过来了啊！哎呦，看见了，看见了吧？啊，这儿看见了。没尝出来，你尝尝。看看。
还是甜的。
是吗？
甜的，有点甜。
哎，这是咱们这一次是发现了啊。
Guidance from an insect has given these dedicated students of nature a helping hand. The Tibet peony is the only known peony species to have a nectary. Under the microscope, Wang Lianying finds that the pollen of the Tibet peony is the most inactive compared to those of other wild peony species. However, its unique nectar attracts more insects for pollination, this guaranteeing reproduction. Such is the balance of nature, but this also explains why it's one of the most difficult to make hybrids with. Today at the Fu-Nu Breeding Center, there are already 15 new peony hybrids developed from wild peonies. Over the next 30 years, they will scale up to tens of thousands of plants. China's peony dream is unfolding before our eyes. "100 kilometers north of the Fu-Nu, dawn breaks over the city of Luoyang. The home of that magical hybrid, the Luoyang Red. It's still the dynastic capital of the peony. "30 years ago, the streets of Luoyang were abustle, with crowds of people flocking to the first peony festival. On its opening day, 150,000 people were amazed and delighted by the bright and colorful display. The festival lasted 10 days and received 2.5 million visitors from 22 provinces and 7 foreign countries. Since then, the Peony Festival has become like an annual pilgrimage for many. In the 1980s, a particular song held popular sway across the country. Through all the vicissitudes of life, every Chinese person can find deep resonance in the peony. Music gives voice to the powerful emotions aroused. For 30 years, this song has been tied to the peony. Behind are the immutable feelings of the Chinese people towards this beloved flower. Across the world, the peony means so much in so many ways to so many different people. Scientists and artists, professional growers and private gardeners, those who seek honor and glory for their devotions, and those who simply enjoy the results of those labors. One thing unites them all: An 11th century philosopher, Xiaoyang, wrote, "Only when the peonies are in full blossom will endless happiness sweep the city." It remains true even today. The blossoming of the peony is a call to pursue one's dreams.